So I want to make one of my very favorite chive dips, I'll call it. It does come, I discovered it in the Asian cuisine, and it's a nice dip sauce. So this is what we're going to do. I like to make it in my blender, but I learned the hard way. You don't want to blend chives because it ends up releasing too much, and it gets a bit vinegar. It gets a bit bitter. So I am going to use the blender though to blend. Instead of mincing my ginger, I'm going to blend it in the blender, and I'm going to blend it with some olive oil. So, and some salt. So I'm going to put in about half teaspoon of salt. And with the vinegar, I'm so stuck on that. With the olive oil, and I am using organic olive oil, I'm going to put in just under a cup. So the nice thing about the blender is I can eyeball it with the measurements that are in there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. Now, as with always recipes, I always recommend that people jot them down, and then after you make the recipe, evaluate it. So if it was too gingery or not gingery, too salty, not salty enough, then you can modify your recipe and know how you want to try and make it the next time. Okay, so go ahead and blend here. Okay, so it's definitely really important that it's nicely minced. You have no big chunks in there because that won't work out so well. And so this all comes together. The nice thing about putting in the blender is it emulsifies everything. But like I said, don't put the chives in here because when you blend chives, they get really, really sour for some reason. Now I'm not too worried about how much I have left in here because when I make my hummus, it also has ginger and olive oil in it. So if there's a little bonus in there, that won't ruin the next recipe. Okay, so beautifully blended there, and then I am going to take almost all of my chives and put them in. But I do want to save some for my topper. So I'm gonna put some aside here, and then the rest is gonna go in. Now this is a cool tool. If you haven't seen it, it's in the canning section at Canadian Tire and maybe other places. But it's a great way to get things into a jar, especially when they're small. I probably am going to spill some, but this will help me have a better chance of getting it into my jar. But yeah, totally getting some on the floor, and it's going everywhere. Ideally, actually, you might even use one of those nice silicone cutting boards, because then they would bend, and you could aim it right at the jar. So the last step is mix it around, and you have this beautiful dip sauce or salad dressing, up to you. Okay, so this is gorgeous. So we're going to come back to this in a little bit, and I'll show you how I like to use it with hummus, but it's also amazing to dip with chicken and veggies and all sorts of things. So it's just got amazing flavor, and then the antioxidant properties of ginger and chives in there, and a healthy fat like olive oil.